First and foremost, I would like to thank you for having me here tonight. And I would like to introduce myself. My name is Phan, and I was born and raised in Arkansas. I got my bachelor in Oklahoma, and I flew out here a year and a half ago for my master's in fine arts in acting for film. A lot of my friends would label me as an actor, a print model, or a pageant beauty gal. But I see myself above all that as a Vietnamese American storyteller. A quote that I go by is from John Lewis: "If not now, then when?" And before that, I would like to tell you a little bit about my family. My family immigrated from Vietnam to America during the fall of Saigon in April 30th, 1975. My mother lost almost half of her family members due to fleeing from communism. I remember growing up and looking at my mother and not understand anything about my ancestors because I only live with her, my older sister, and my father in Arkansas. It's a very small town. I didn't know anything about my past. I grew up very poor. My mother, I remember her taking me to a dollar store, and I would dig through a bucket of $1 VHS cassette tapes, and I would watch vintage films for hours and hours, sometimes even 4 times a day. My mother would say, "I'll buy you more if you do well in your school work." And then the fascination of acting came along when my father bought me a DVD of City Lights with Charlie Chaplin in it, a silent film, a 1931 silent film, and I was so captured by his emotion, the story that it was telling, and so I decided to pursue acting. In my undergraduate year, I studied a lot of theater and film history. I realized when I opened up my textbooks, I didn't see a lot of Asian American actors making history in Hollywood. The most relevant was Anna May Wong, and she was a Chinese American actress, but that was in the 1930s. I wanted to see more. And I was very lucky in my graduate year to have 2 HBO creative producers coming in and giving me advice. So I talked to them about I want to create a film called Gold. And I put in the tagline, "You say my skin is yellow, I say that it is gold." The reason why I titled this film is it's based off a music called Hello Vietnam by an artist, Nguyễn, and it basically tells the story of a girl coming to America, and I thought of my mother. I knew with passion it comes with dedications, so I started to venture out. I started to go and find more Asian American actors to show me a light on what it's like to be an Asian actor and American in Hollywood. So I had the opportunity to speak with Randall Park, and you guys know he's from the ABC TV series, Fresh Off the Boat. And I asked him, I said, how did you get here, and how long did it take you to get here? And he said, years and years. I had to do a lot of YouTubes, I had to take on a lot of stereotypical role. There was this one time that he had to take on a Chinese role when he was Korean American. He had no idea how that even helped him with his career. But there was not many choices for him because for Asian actors, the roles are quite limited. So I did more research. My Shakespeare teacher told me, it's gonna be a long, hard battle for you out there. Go online and look it up. So I did. I looked at the statistics and I was very shocked. Only 1 out of 20 speaking roles go to Asian actors, and 1% of leading roles go to Asians. Then I also discovered the topic of yellowface. Yellowface is like makeup done on a non-Eastern Asian performer to perform a character as East Asian. And legends such as Katharine Hepburn and Marlon Brando, whom I really adore and look up to, they had to do that as a Japanese characters in their film. But at that time, I could understand that there weren't that many Asian actors. But then later on, I realized this is still happening today. I questioned and very confused because I know a lot of my friends that are Asian American actors that would love to take on these roles. Roles such as Ghost in the Shell with Scarlett Johansson. She played a Japanese anime character. Emma Stone, she played Aloha as a Hawaiian with other Asian heritage. And I also found out a little bit about Disney, how they had two Siamese cat and was rated as one of the most racist Disney cartoon depiction for children. I realized that Asian American females in Hollywood, they tend to get roles such as masseuses, manicurists, or sex workers, or prostitutes, or geeks, or nerds. And for Asian males, they tend to be emasculated, and also they get roles such as doctors and nerds, or oftentimes they actually quite rare that they get leading roles because Hollywood directors don't see them as leading male. So I'm so happy that there are some Asian American actors out there are bringing and raising awareness for the visibility for Asian American in Hollywood industry. But then I've realized this is going to be such a long journey. I did some research and I realized that Hollywood is not afraid of risk of being racist, that it's frightened to risk losing their money. So with that being said, Hollywood does not see color. It does not see white. It sees green. They cannot invest in an Asian American actor if that film doesn't go well. If there has none in history that there's any Asian leading role that breaks the box office. So I also looked up the formula to make it happen. Number one, the actor must speak English. Number two, they must be attractive. Number three, they must have a standout performance in the film. And number four, they must have some Hollywood executive being able to invest in them and their film. So wherever your money goes, that will produce just that. So in the movie Black Panther in 2018, it is now the second largest Marvel movie so far. With that being said, this is such a revolution for Hollywood because having all Black African American actors, that's actually a great time for us. And I'm pretty sure that our future kids will be able to see that in film history. I remember asking my friend, I said to him, when do you think there will be an Asian Marvel movie? And he said to me, probably in the next 10 years. And that made me so sad because I was like, why not next year or why not tomorrow? And it's just a really hard, difficult system. So this project movie is called Gold. It has a tagline, like I said before, you say my skin is yellow, I say that it is gold. And I wrote, produced, and starred in this movie, and it's now in post-production. I realized making these kind of films, like I need a lot of supporters and a lot of help, and I was very fortunate to have a lot of donors to help me to create this film. And with that being said, so every time you see an independent film, please support Asian American actors in anywhere in Hollywood when you go to theaters. This will help us with our visibility. I believe that arts have the uncanny ability to bring people together, and I really hope that there will be more films for my kids to and for the next generation to look back and appreciate the culture, the beauty of Vietnam and also other Asian cultures. The quote that I said before, if not now, then when? I really do hope that you guys will be able to support. Thank you.